everybody, my name is Heather Lentz, and today I'm going to share with y'all about an article that I read called Reading and Writing in the Upper Elementary Grades. And it was by Jessica Toste and Stephen Ciolo. And what they did in this article was they took 5 different articles and they summarized them and brought out parts that they thought were very important. So the first article that they wrote about was about grapheme and phoneme learning. Graphemes are the letters and phonemes are the sounds. So let's say you have the letter B. B would be the grapheme, and the sound that B makes, B, would be the phoneme. And so what they said in this article was that students with learning disabilities have difficulty reaching proficiency in decoding these words because they don't have the understanding of phonology. And so when these students are struggling in lower elementary with these things, then when they get in upper elementary grades, then they struggle even more because you have more things you have to do and you have more assignments that you have to do and you learn more things, and they all come back to graphemes and phonemes. They said that it's very important for teachers to change instructional methods for these students who are struggling with these so that they have an equal amount of chance to learn and grow knowledge of the material being taught. And so the second article that was talked about was word reading skills. The difference between students who struggle with reading and students who don't struggle with reading typically come out when students are learning about multi-syllable words, so words that have more than one syllable, table and computer, and words with like 4 or 5 other syllables, or even 6 syllables. This is when the difference between those students come out, and this is when you're able to see which students are struggling with reading and which students don't. And in upper elementary grades, multi-syllable words are appearing more in different texts and different passages that students are having to read. They're more apparent and students will see them more. And so if they don't understand the concept of how to decode multi-syllable words, then that will have them struggle with understanding the meaning behind a text. And so the authors of this article came up with 5 practices that can help students develop an understanding of how to decode multi-syllable words so that they will understand the meaning of text. And so the 5 practices are affix learning, peel-off learning, word reading fluency, word building, and connected text reading. And the third article is proficient word readers. And the article said that even though students can be good readers and know how to read very, very well, when it comes to having to comprehend a passage or understand the meaning of a passage, they struggle with it. And not all students struggle with understanding the meaning of a text, but it said that some students, even though they can read very, very well, they still struggle with comprehending text, understanding the meaning of text, and everything. And so the authors of the article researched practices that could help students who have a difficult time making connections in text and understanding events in text, and who just don't know how to comprehend text and passages. These practices or techniques can help them develop that understanding. These practices are identification of key words, and then the second one was activation of background knowledge. And then the third practice that can help is generation and answering of inferential questions. All of these practices are things that teachers can do with their students. It can help them develop an understanding of comprehension and what it means to comprehend text. So students with not only disabilities, but students just in whole, and students who struggle with this can be able to actually comprehend text. The fourth article was about it said that the students who are struggling with writing become apparent when they're in 8th grade because they're having to do so many writing assessments and so many writing assignments, and that's not just like writing out a sentence, but it's having to write essays and take notes. And it said that these students who are struggling with this typically score low on writing assessments given by the National Assessment of Educational Progress. This is by the time that they get in 8th grade. When students get in 8th grade, they're having to write a lot of essays, so like persuasive essays, informative essays, descriptive essays, narrative essays. They're having to write a lot of essays, and they're also having to write a lot of notes, because once you get in 8th grade, you don't get the notes handed to you, you're just having to write all the notes down. And so if they're struggling with writing and struggling with knowing how to take notes, then of course they're gonna have a hard time with that. And so the authors of the article, they gave important ways that you can help improve your students' writings. And so the first one is guided skills of develop note-taking skills, essay planning, and then revising and editing essays. The last one that all students need is motivation. Teachers who help their students that have disabilities develop determination and self-learning. They will develop motivation. They will want to have motivation. And it also said that in upper elementary grades, motivation tends to lower and determination tends to decrease because students aren't wanting to do work anymore. They're not wanting to be at school. So I think motivation is something that is very important for any age. Even in college, motivation is very, very important. So all of these things that I've mentioned are very important in school and to help your students learn. And these things will help target remediation, and it will help students be more prepared for higher grades. It's very important for students with disabilities and students who don't even have disabilities. It's very important for them to develop an understanding of comprehension and writing and to have motivation so that they can get the work done and that they can learn and that they will enjoy reading and writing and just learning about all different types of subjects.